So there was a new weapon added to Cold War and Warzone, and that gun is the CARV.2. It's a tactical burst rifle that kind of resembles the G11 from Black Ops 1. And I just got off stream. We were testing the damage, the fire rate, all that stuff with this thing, and it's kind of looking like the burst meta might be back, because judging on the stats we gathered, this thing is very, very good. To unlock this weapon, you're going to have to rapidly kill 2 or more players in 10 different matches with tactical rifles, and you're going to have to complete those matches in order for that game to count, which is really unfortunate because usually you can get those rapid kills within the first minute or so of the match, so you're just going to have to stay and wait in that match. But let's start out with the damage of the CARV.2. Now, in order to test the damage, I had my viewers stream snipe me while I was streaming in a solos match, and only one person managed to get in my game, which was Alexis, so shout out to you, Alexis. I really appreciate the help. But we gathered up some money, we got a loadout, and then I would shoot him in the chest once, check how much damage I had, and then I would do a headshot, check how much damage I had, and then so on for all the different parts of the body. And these are the results we got. Now, I got the AUG and the M16 data from TrueGameData.com, which is a super useful website for checking out stats of all the weapons on all the guns in Warzone, so I highly recommend checking that website out. But as you can see, the CARV.2 is doing slightly less damage than both the AUG and the M16. It's doing about 11 less damage on a headshot, doing 3 less damage on chest shots, and then it's doing 4 less damage on the stomach and extremities shots. Now, the extremities are the arms and legs of a player, if you didn't know that already. And keep in mind, this isn't the amount of damage that a full burst is doing. This is just one shot out of the burst. So in order to get that data, I would just take the damage I did from a full burst and divide it by 3. And this is what we came out with. So it does do a little bit less damage than the AUG and M16, but you guys are going to see that the fire rate is way faster than both the AUG and M16. So the slightly lower damage that it does, I don't think is really going to matter, because the fire rate is just way faster, and I think that's going to end up actually making the damage per second a lot faster on the gun. So on screen, you guys are seeing here the fire rate of all 3 weapons, and as you can see, the CARV.2's fire rate is just much faster than both the AUG and M16. It looks pretty similar to the fire rate of the AUG and M16 pre-nerf. As we all know, those guns both got a nerf when it came to their fire rate, but it does look even a little bit quicker in the fire rate department compared to the AUG and M16 pre-nerf. So even though the CARV does do a little less damage than both the AUG and M16, the fire rate really makes up for it, and I think this gun's going to be completely broken. Now, looking at the recoil patterns here, you might be thinking that the AUG and M16 actually have a much better recoil pattern and a lot less bullet spread, but it's actually kind of an illusion, and the CARV does actually have a very similar recoil pattern to both of those weapons. The reason it looks so much worse here is because the rate of fire on the M16 and AUG is much slower, so there's a lot more time between each burst, and in that time between bursts, it's going to give the gun more time to reset back to that default position, so it kind of gives it the illusion that the recoil pattern is better, because with the CARV, you're able to spam the gun a lot faster, so the gun doesn't get time to kind of reset, so it just kind of keeps going up and up. But as you can see with the CARV, the bullet spread is actually pretty tight, and the recoil doesn't start moving up a whole lot until you get towards the end of the clip. So the recoil pattern and bullet spread with the CARV is actually very good, and mixing that with the high fire rate and decent damage is just going to make this gun a beast. Now, keep in mind, all this testing was done with no attachments on any of these weapons, as I have not unlocked all the attachments yet because the gun just came out. So I will be working on that as soon as this video goes up. Now, what you guys are looking at here is how I tested bullet velocity. Now, I'm not JGod. I'm not able to get all the crazy numbers that he does. I'm just kind of doing some basic testing. But basically, I got on top of prison and made sure I was exactly 325 meters out from the silo out there in the distance. And then I went into my editing program and I cut right at the frame where I shot the shot. And then I cut right at the frame where you could see the bullet disappear in the distance. So on top here, we have the new CARV tactical rifle. In the middle, we have the AUG. And then on the bottom, we have the M16. So basically, the shorter the clip here, the faster the bullet velocity. So as you can see, the CARV does have slightly slower bullet velocity than the AUG does, but it has much faster bullet velocity than the M16 does. So the bullet velocity seems to be pretty comparable to the AUG, but just slightly slower. But again, keep in mind, this is with no attachments on any of the weapons, so having these weapons fully decked out could change this up a little bit. So I'm very interested to see how this goes. It kind of looks like the burst meta is back. This gun is just going to be insanely insanely good. And honestly, I'm excited to use it, but then again, I'm not all that excited for another burst meta. So we'll see how things play out in the next few days, see how good it is in terms of actual gameplay. But this thing is looking to be like one of the best guns, if not the best gun in the game right now. And I'm curious to know what you guys think about this gun. Let me know down in the comments. Let me know if you like this style of video. And just a little reminder that I am almost at 1,000 followers on Twitter. So if you use Twitter and you want to drop me a follow over there, I'd really appreciate that. Link is in the description, as well as my Twitch. If you ever want to catch me live, I'm usually live in the mornings if I'm not working on a video or whatnot. And of course, drop a like if you like this video and subscribe if you're new. I'd really appreciate that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Here's the web. Peace.